Hello, Leo. Welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the general energies for the sign of Leo. So this will be a bonus reading for the month of May. If you're here, if you've clicked on this video, there's likely to be a message for you. With that said, do keep in mind that this is indeed a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, so we got the Eight of Swords that wanted to pop out there. Let's see if we see the Eight of Swords again as I shuffle the deck. So let's take a look at this bonus reading here for you in this month, Leo. Do hope you're doing well. Hope things are going good for you. We'll go ahead and get all the cards out, get everything set up and in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. Okay. Wow, Leo. Very nice reading so far. Just at quick glance, right? Quick glance. Very nice reading. All right. I think that's looking just about good enough to me for right now. Energy on the bottom. You have the Queen of Swords. All right, so some of you here may be dealing with, there may be an air sign in your life, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, that is connected to you in some way, connected to your timeline, your path, your situation in some way. Some of you, though, may need to logically look at something, okay? And the idea is that the Queen and the King of Swords, they are masters of logic. Okay, they're high IQ. They're very good at using logic or intellectualizing something. And what I will say is that there is a time in our situation for logic and there's a time for emotion, right? Certain things call for logic and certain things call for emotion. Some of you may need to use the IQ, right? Some of you, instead of the EQ, some of you may need to use the IQ, right? You need to look at you could say left brain versus right brain, okay? Is maybe a better way of saying that. So this is showing up. Now, there may also be some communication stuff happening here. What I will say is the Queen of Swords is a card that indicates somebody who's a very direct communicator, okay? They don't mince words. They say what they need to say and when they need to say it. But I should say that wow, I think some of you here, here's the deal. I see a lot of yellow, okay? Or at least what I should say is the yellow color in the cards here are really sticking out to me. Yellow is the color of the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is your power center, okay? This is where we derive power, confidence, self-worth. And I think some of you here at this time, Leo, you could be feeling very powerful, okay, in a work scenario, okay? Your career could be taking front and center. You could be putting your career first. You may be starting something new. I really, really like the first set of cards here that we pulled for you. So let's dive in. In the middle card here, you have the Ace of Wands, a really great card to get in any way, but certainly in the middle. All of these cards, they draw back to the middle, right? The middle card is the most important card in this spread, so everything sort of ties back into the middle. And the Ace of Wands is potentially saying that during this period of time, you could be lighting a fire in your life, okay? This is about passion, inspiration, and typically around, it could be in any area, right? You may feel passionate or inspired by something, but this can really be around your business, okay? Around your career. If you're a business owner, your business. If you're a career person, your career, okay? And this is also a card of like starting something like a side hustle or starting a second business or maybe adding a new service, for example. Like if you own a business, like adding something extra to the business, or if you're in your career, you may be finding new ways to, let's say, generate more sales or do something in a new way. You may also be picking up some skills or some extra thing to take yourself to the next level. And you feel very, very inspired by this. An incredible energy here in the middle card. It may also just represent a new beginning generally in life, but the key word here is you're inspired by this. This feels very passionate for you. And you actually have the classic entrepreneur signature here, Ace of Wands, King of Wands. Okay, that is the classic entrepreneur energy. And I really, really like that for you here, Leo. So let's dive into the first column. You have the Ten of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Death card. Wow, Powerful energy here in the first column. Let me tell you that much. So 10 of Cups is, Beza is the highest vibration of, it's the highest expression, the highest vibration of the suit of Cups. What is Cups around? Well, Cups is typically around love. It's around your emotions. It's around happiness, around joy, pleasure, play, fun, these sorts of things, right? And this is the highest expression of all of that when you get the 10 of Cups. Okay, it can say that you're feeling fulfilled in maybe a romantic scenario or in your family situation here as well. You can see the family dancing in the field here. They own the home behind them, actually. They own the home in the distance. This is sort of like a picturesque type of energy, right? It's almost like when you get the 10 of Cups, things couldn't be going better, right, for you. And I like this. And I think that this is probably connecting back to career for many people, but you do have the Knight of Cups with the 10 of Cups. So this could also mean a significant event in your romantic situation. This, in this case, would likely be positive, but this could indicate a significant event in that romantic connection that you have. Hanged Man and the Death card is very powerful. Okay, it's a powerful combination. I happen to love this illustration here of the Death card. This is Kalima. Kalima is the destroyer of fear. Okay, and the idea of the Death card is we have to face fear head on. Okay, it represents a transformation. It represents a change. And the worst thing you could do when you get the Death card is see that there's a change happening. See that there's a transformation happening and do nothing about it, right? Resist change. The worst thing you can do when you get the Death card is resist, because there are just some things that are out of our control, right? Do I want to give this example? Yeah, I'll give this example. So I've been a YouTuber now for like over 4 years, right? And recently, YouTube changed the way that they do ads, okay? And a lot of people were really, really upset about this. And I was like at first resisting, and I'm like, then I took a step back. I took like a day to cool off. And I'm like, you know what? This is what it is. I can't control how YouTube does their ads. There's nothing I can do, right? I don't own YouTube. There's nothing I can do. So I can either, be upset, I can resist the change, or I can just try to make the best of it. And, this is the idea of the Death card, right? There may be something like this happening here, right? There are changes that happen all of the time. And this could mean that there is a change happening in your maybe career field or your business, like in my case, that may feel a little scary, okay? It may induce some fear. The reason this is a powerful combination is you have the Hanged Man with the Death card, 12, 13. The Hanged Man needs the Death card, okay? Because right now they're not moving, okay? They're contemplating. They're in a period of limbo. They are contemplating. But in order to get off of this tree here, they have to embrace a change, okay? They have to see what the transformation will bring them. Otherwise, they will just stay here. So you have this idea here that's showing up pretty strongly. There's a change happening, but it's about how, Leo, you choose to take on this change. How will you approach the change in front of you? You have Knight of Cups, Ace of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles, okay? Okay, so there's a long-term planning situation that's happening here. Seven of Pentacles can indicate your long-term view of money or some sort of long-term planning that's going on here. And it can also represent a directional shift, which I think is probably more likely in a reading like this, where the Death card is next to the Seven of Pentacles. The idea is that this person has all of these seeds that have now grown and they're in full bloom, and they could either let them grow further, or they could acquire more. They could let the harvest get bigger, or they could take them. And they're sort of thinking about that, right? They could take what they have now, or they could allow the harvest to grow bigger. Neither is wrong, right? Neither choice is wrong, but it's sort of what will you decide on? So there's sort of a long-term planning situation going on here. This could very well be around where is this relationship going if you're here for love. Now, if you're new to my readings, I try to bring in business and love to the best of my ability. But with the 10 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and then we'll get into the 8 as well, some of you are like, okay, where is this going? How is this going to, shake out? How is this going to play out? And I think maybe some of you are looking at this long-term view around this situation. I also believe that I've been talking about this same topic with Leo people for a while now. I think. You'll have to let me know if you've been watching my videos. So yeah. Why don't we go ahead and let's move to this final column. You have the Eight of Cups, the King of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. Okay, so very excited for you with the Ace and King of Wands. This is extreme passion around work, around some project in your life, something in your life. I would really encourage, like, if you have been thinking about starting a business, this is a green light. Okay, this is a green light. Or if you've been thinking about adding an extra service or adding something into your business, this is big here. This combination, Ace of Wands, King of Wands, that is definitely what you want to see. Okay, it could mean that you could find some great success in doing this. And also, these are both cards of talent. This is card of talent. You have a special skill, you have a special talent. You've got something to offer people, okay? Something that people want, you have. Or you're able to perform something in a way that perhaps other people are not as good at, okay? So you then here have the, let's go to the King, right? So the difference is the King of Wands, fine with risk. King of Wands is totally cool with risk. Starting a business is risky, for example, or, maybe risk in other area of life as well. Like maybe in your career, you like to take risks as well. King of Pentacles, not interested in risk. They are risk averse. Okay. They are all about like, let's just be the first one to arrive and the last one to leave. Let's wear a suit. Let's, make sure our habits are good. Let's wake up at 5 a.m., same time every day. And that is how the King of Pentacles becomes successful versus the King of Wands. They acquire they acquire talent, skills, abilities through risk that they take on, right? And they acquire success through risk. And also through passion. So this is the difference, right? So some of you it's interesting, 2 pentacles below, 2 wands above. Some of you are maybe in that like in-between phase where it's like, okay, do I need to logically, right? We've got this King of Swords thing. Do I need to logically look at this thing before I take the risk? Do I want to play it safe here? 7, King of Pentacles, or do I want to go for it? Maybe a better way of saying that is, do I want to bring on more risk? Sometimes it's good to go for it, sometimes it's not, right? So like maybe some of you are making this calculation. 8 of Cups, walking away, okay? You're walking away from something here. Intuitively, it feels like maybe the relationship stuff is happening. This would be amicable, meaning that this is good for both parties. The 8 of Cups is not a bad energy at all. It's a very positive energy in that you're walking towards happiness, and maybe some of you are thinking about that in your relationship. Why don't we go ahead and let's take a look at clarifying this with some more cards here. I'm going to pull some cards from the Psychic Tarot. This is the first deck I actually ever used. It's really how I learned how to read cards initially. And this is an Oracle deck based on the Tarot. So, okay, we'll take those cards and let's take a look at the energy on the bottom. You have Intuition. Okay, strong card here. Intuition, this would be the High Priestess in the Tarot. So, it's interesting. I talk about the Queen of Swords really doesn't rely on their intuition. They rely on their intellect, right? King of Wands would be more so on the intuitive side than the King of Pentacles or the Queen of Swords. But there may be something that is speaking to you at this time around this maybe shift that you feel, this change, this direction, this change of direction, whatever the case may be. Okay, let's start with awareness here. So you have awareness. This is the Magician. Intuition and awareness, isn't that interesting? Okay, so awareness is very, very powerful. Many people walk through life being unaware of what's going on, what's like really happening. People miss details all of the time. When you can acquire awareness and then use your intuition, that is a very strong combination here. So maybe some of you are resonating with that. You have recognition and rewards as well as triumph. So that would be the 3 of Pentacles. Yes, 3 of Pentacles as well as the Chariot here. So that's a sign of victory for you. You then here have emotional loss, as well as trapped in fear. So that is the Eight of Swords. Remember, I was shuffling, the Eight of Swords came out. Maybe in the heart space, right, with this idea of emotional loss plus trapped in fear, there's something that needs to be unearthed, or there's maybe awareness that needs to be had here. There may be something that needs to be set free in the heart space. So this could be around a relationship, something like this. Maybe some communication. All right, I'll get to these two in a second, but you have shadow. This is the moon. This can represent anxieties and fears. There's something in the heart space here that is trapped a little bit. Okay, so there's maybe some trapped emotions or some conversations that need to be had. And you have two chakra cards, okay? I think you're the first to get two. And one of them, would you believe it, is the heart chakra. The other one is, could you believe it, the solar plexus chakra. I had a feeling that we would pull this solar plexus chakra card when I looked at the cards, okay? Because I talked about this is your power center. Your heart chakra obviously is at the heart. By the way, the solar plexus is right in the abdomen area, okay? The heart chakra above in the heart space. I was not expecting to pull the heart chakra, but the heart chakra is where we obviously hold our emotions, our memories of love, our family connections, particularly to our mother, in the heart chakra. And, there may be some emotional releasing that some of you are being called on to do. But what I will say for sure in this reading is there is an element of power available to you. With the solar plexus and that initial message I had, this is probably connected to, like, are you taking something to the next level in career, in business? It's very exciting. So you have the Queen of Pentacles now. You have the Three of Wands and the Strength card. All right. So this is a doubling down from the universe here. Strength card with the Death card. The idea, whatever, like what I'll say is there's a change happening for Leo people here. If this is your reading, it's very important to not succumb to the fear. Okay. The strength, this is, by the way, this is the Leo card. The Strength card is your card. Okay. It's very, very important for you at this time to not succumb to the fear. Really, really is. This is a card of bravery, of, exerting your power, your willpower, exerting the force that you have in your life over whatever fear is showing up here around this change. Okay, this is very important for Leo people at this time. Three of Wands represents growth and expansion into something. Okay, with the Hanged Man. If you've been doing the same old, which it looks like some of you have been with the Hanged Man, it's time to break free from this. It's really time to break free from this here. With this Three of Wands, time to take something to a new place. Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. You do have a counterpart here, King and Queen of Pentacles. Why don't we go ahead and take a look if we can get some more clarity on that. You have the World. Wow, Ace of Wands clarifying Ace of Wands. What an amazing combination. And the Hierophant. Okay, yeah, so I will say, as the reader, this doesn't happen often, especially when the middle card, I think maybe this happened one other time in this series of reading where the middle card was clarified by the same card. Okay, it happens, but not always. And so what I will say is, like, really, if you feel inspired to bring in new energy, to, the word fresh is coming into my mind. Like, you need to start fresh on something. This is big for you, okay? Like, if you really, really feel inspired to do that, the cards are saying, you better do it. You better do it because, you would not be showing up for yourself if you don't investigate whatever this new thing is, right? So there's this, like, break free, there's, like, the high confidence, go for it type of energy here with the Ace of Wands twice. And I think some of you are planting this new seed in business and career that's very, very exciting and could be profitable or successful in some way for you, okay? The World is completion, okay? It represents international travel as well, but it can represent completion in the tarot and certainty. So there is a love timeline here that's going on. Some of you are thinking about, will this result in marriage if you're not already married? With the Hierophant and the Seven of Pentacles, this is important to you. It feels like the Hierophant and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, that's a big combination of marriage here. And yeah, some of you are thinking about that. You have the Empress Okay, that is the Mother. You have the Two of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. In business career, there may be someone you're partnering up with here. Okay, there might be some partnerships going on here. You have the Three of Pentacles there, as well as the Two of Cups. This can represent partnerships and alliances. In love, there, like, it almost feels like there needs to be some adventure here. Okay, there needs to be some adventure in the love scenario. With the King of Wands, Two of Cups going on. Okay, it's almost like, yeah. What else am I going to say? There needs to be some type of adventure here. There's a scenario with the Mother here as well for some of you that's going on with the Empress. Okay, some of you, by the way, are looking to conceive. Ace of Wands twice with the Empress is a classic combination of trying to conceive or create life, for sure. But from a business perspective, if that's not what you're doing, this is like creating life in your business, right? This is like your business, this idea, this project, this is your baby. You know what I'm saying? So there is this creation energy here, Ace of Wands twice, the Empress, for sure, for sure. And this seems to be pretty important. You then have the Two of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles. This is what I'm talking about with risk, okay? Two of Pentacles can talk about like money coming in, money going out. It's sort of like the finances not exactly being in a stable place, but also not being in a terrible place. It's sort of like it can indicate up and down, like swings in finances. And some of you are like, all right, you know, this is what it is. Do I have the room? Do I have the space to take the risk? Or like, do I need to take care of some things first before this happens? You know, something like this is happening here. It's almost like you're making I see some of you making a calculation, okay? Remember, logic. We start off with logic here. Some of you are calculating something mentally or something like that. You have the Devil on the bottom. Okay, this can represent desires, okay? That's showing up in your situation. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Kipper energies. One of my favorite readings for you in a very long time, and I have to say this is my favorite reading of this series. I am just about done with this series here, this bonus May series, and this is my favorite one for you, Leo. Not just for you, just generally. So why don't we go ahead and let's take a look at the Kipper energies for you. All right, you have expectation, main male, great fortune, marriage, message, pathway. Okay, there is a definite expectation around in this relationship. You know, one of the two of you or the other person, like marriage is important if you're not already there. And I think some of you are maybe figuring out some things. Like there's maybe a communication around, are we going the distance here? What's going on with marriage, message, expectation? Yeah, it's hard to say because we have that walking away energy. So I'm going to leave it there. That's in the love area. That's what's going on. I will say the Great Fortune card is the best card in this Kipper deck. It can say that you are really walking into an increase in your financial situation, provided that you've taken the steps to get here so far. And then pathway is your dharma. It's the path you're supposed to be walking on. And that's definitely showing up for you at this time. This can indicate 3 to 6 months in the future as well. You have unexpected income as well on the bottom. What an incredible reading. I'm going to leave it right here. Thank you so much for being here. Leo, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.